Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Belgian Way. Ashley here. Today I'm coming at you from my backyard. I'm finally getting all of my pots planted back here. I have a lot to do, a lot of pots, a lot of weeds to pull, a lot of mulching to do. I'm going to start off by showing you guys around, showing you what I'm going to do, and I'm just excited to finally get this all put together. I love hanging out here in the summertime. And it's really hot today. It's like in the mid 80s. It's not too bad yet, but I know it's going to start getting really hot. Sorry if you can't hear me very well. I finally buckled and turned my AC on. Normally I try to wait as long as I can because I love having my windows open, but it's going to be pretty warm today, and I know after a day of being outside working in the sun, I'm going to want to go inside into the air conditioning. Our grass really needs to be mowed. Normally my husband does that. He's actually at my in-laws today, helping them open up their pool for the season. So don't mind the grass. That will be mowed soon. So let me show you guys around and show you what we're going to do today. And then let's get to work. All right, here we go. Here is my patio. We put this in about 4 years ago during the pandemic. I'll see if I can find some pictures of what it used to look like. I'll drop them in here a little bit for you to see, probably maybe at the end of this video. So here is, we have our hot tub here, and then when we put in our patio, we had this little bar area. So it's kind of like a little swim up bar, which is pretty cool. So got some seating here. I have this seating area. It's kind of all a little bit of a mess because we had people over for Mother's Day last weekend, so we have chairs kind of all over. So I'm gonna get this all straightened up, get this glass cleaned. It looks pretty gross. I do want to shampoo these cushions, but I'm not gonna do that today. Probably gonna do those, I don't know when, but I want to do it on like a Sunday when because if I do it, obviously they're going to be all wet and we want to sit out here. This is my new addition this year, this rug. I absolutely love it. Once I move things around, you'll be able to see it a little bit better. But I got this on Amazon, and I will link it in the description below. I think I got the 9-foot by 12-foot or something like that. I'll have to look at my order history, but I just love it. This is a new addition this year. We put this roof on our pergola. It's nice because it still gives in a little bit of natural light. So that was just put on a few weeks ago, and then this week we just got this outdoor fan installed. So that's going to be awesome for the hot days like today, where we can kind of sit, not be directly in the sun, and still have a little bit of air movement. Here is our outdoor TV. Absolutely love this thing. We just had electrical come in when they put the fan in, and they put a little plug-in thing here instead of having cords all over like you can see we have here. So we'll be able to kind of replug that in using that outlet. But this is an outdoor grade TV, so it is really great. There's no glare on it during the day. So I have a couple of pots right here. This is one of the pots that we're going to be doing today. This actually was an ice bucket, but it kind of started leaking, probably because I left it out. And so now I put plants in it, and I actually really like it as a planter. And then over here in the back of the yard, you'll see I have 2 giant white pots. Those are going to go on the patio, so I need to move those over. We had everything moved off our patio because they just recently did they power washed it and sealed it, so I have a lot of stuff kind of sitting in my yard that I normally don't have, so move everything back onto the patio today. Here are my weeds. As you can see, I need to remulch all of this. These are the same, if you saw my video last week, those bushes that I have in the front, I have a bunch of them out here. Of course, like this one's not doing too hot. I think it just got burned by the sun. But I need a lot of weed pulling, mulching. So a lot of work there. I also have them on this side over there. And here's our little eating area. I need to clean off this glass. I do have a little pot to put there. I have this big gray pot that I'm going to put over in here in front of our meter, just so we don't have to see all this stuff. Another pot there, then I'm going to move, probably leave it there. So I just have a couple of little pots. There's Jack. Say hi, Jack. Jack. Yeah, he's not thrilled. So So that's everything. That's kind of what we're going to be working on. Oh, real quick, let me show you guys. I have a butterfly garden that has been completely destroyed by weeds. Look at that. Ooh. But here's my milkweed. So I want to clean this all out, clean out all these giant weeds, and put in, here's all the good milkweed. We actually already have 7 baby little tiny caterpillars inside. So I'll kind of tell you a little bit of story on that as I'm doing this, how we came about doing butterflies, monarchs, raising monarchs and releasing them. So obviously I need to get rid of all this. I might have to go buy another milkweed plant or 2 to put in here because I don't think they're all coming back. But once I get rid of these weeds, I'll be able to see for sure. So let's get started. So I'm going to start off by just moving all of the furniture off the rug. I want to use the leaf blower and really just get all of the stuff off of the patio. We have a huge maple tree over to the side, and so this is the time of year where we just have tons and tons of those little whirly bird helicopters. And every year I can never remember how to get this blower started. I worked on this for a couple of minutes and I actually had to call my husband and ask him how to work this thing because I can never remember. Normally he's the one that uses this all the time, and so after a quick call to my husband, I'm sure he was rolling his eyes as I was talking to him when he was giving me directions. I finally got it moving. So now I'm just going to get all of the whirlybirds and just stuff off of the patio as much as possible, and then get my furniture rearranged back onto the patio to the way I normally have it. Like I said, we had it kind of all separated a little bit because we had a couple people over, and sometimes separating the furniture out a little bit, you know, when you have a ton of people sitting here, it kind of spreads everyone out a little bit. Bad at leaving my pots out all year round in the winter time and not taking the stuff out. I need to do better at that. This is my goal for this year, but I underestimated how heavy these pots are. They were on the patio throughout the winter, but we had to move them into the back of the yard because we were having our patio resealed and power washed. So these things were really heavy. It took a long time for me to get both of these onto the patio since my husband wasn't home to help me, but I managed to do it. Now I'm just going to get all of my flowers out for the pots that I had sitting outside the front of my house. And here's my little cat Sky. She loves being out on the patio during the summertime. She loves to sit out here with us and explore. She's really good about only staying on the patio and not really going further into the yard. So we don't have a problem doing that as long as we're out here with her. But she does like to sneak out, so I always have to make sure that I'm watching her. Now I'm just getting all of my pots prepped for the flowers. I'm notorious, like I said, for leaving all of my stuff in from the year before. Luckily it wasn't too bad, just cleaning it out, loosening up the dirt, adding any additional potting soil that I need to, and get the things moved to the right spot. And of course, there's a centipede. Always see a centipede. You know how much I hate centipedes. Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw the centipede. It went under the bucket. Goodness, it's gone. Gee, that thing was passed, I somehow managed to see. I heard you panicking. I was like, I think Mom found a centipede.
Yeah, he heard me scream when I saw the centipede, and so he came running. If you saw my video from when I did the front, I saw a centipede in the mulch and freaked out, and he came checking it out. So yeah, I just hate them. And then here in the Midwest, we have cicadas like crazy. This was kind of the first week they started poking out, so you could see them there. Not too bad yet, but yeah, wait till later in the video. You'll see some more. There's a lot of cicadas here in the Midwest. So now I'm just getting all of the pots, kind of figuring out what flowers I want to put in which pots and just kind of arranging them, and then gonna get them planted. I had a really hard time kind of picking which plants to put in these pots this year, because before we never had this roof on our pergola and it would get full sun, so I always would get flowers in here that wanted full sun. Now it's considered, I think, partially shaded. I'm not really sure. So I got some flowers that are a little bit more for shade. So we'll see how they do this year. I'm a little worried about it because it still is pretty sunny. Hopefully they don't get fried, but so far they're doing pretty good, so I think I made the right decision. But yeah, like my mom came and helped me. My mom loves planting. She's really, really good at it. So normally when I go shopping every year for my flowers, she kind of helps me figure out what's going to go in what pot. Again, the problem is I never really remember if what I'm putting in the pots is what we said we were going to put in each pot, but I think I did a good job this year. These pots are looking really good. I decided not to do something really big and bushy. Usually I put something taller in the back, as you can see. Last year I did this big bushy plant. It was beautiful, but if you were sitting on the couch, my husband was so annoyed because it would like tickle his neck, and he always thought that there were bugs crawling on him. So I promised him this year I wouldn't do something too big and bushy in these, so he wouldn't have to worry about it. So I'm excited to see how they kind of grow in. And then I put in, there's like this purple, it's called like a potato plant, I think. It's kind of what I put in the front of these, and then it's supposed to, as it grows in, drape down the front. So hopefully that one will work, and hopefully as it grows, it will look really, really pretty in there. That's what this is right now. I like the color of it. It kind of has like a green purple color, and so this is supposed to grow down the pot. So I guess we'll see in the next couple of weeks if that is what it does. I really hope it does. Notice that I'm wearing something different now. This is actually now a week later. So I know in the beginning of the video I had a long list of things I was going to get done that day, but my husband came home from my in-laws after getting their pool ready, and his best friend, his parents live in the same town as us, and he was at his parents' house getting their pool ready and invited us to come over to go swimming and have a little pool party. And so I had to make the decision, am I a responsible adult and I continue to work on the yard and finish the things that I want to do, or do I abandon my project and go have some summer fun? Well, I chose option B because it was the first time that it was really warm enough to be able to go in a pool, and after a long winter, that was my top priority that day. Sometimes, things just happen like that, and I'm glad I did that, because now every weekend since then it's been kind of cold and a little bit rainy, so we haven't been able to have an opportunity to go in a pool again since then. So I don't regret my decision, but now, of course, I'm kind of a week behind on getting all of my pots planted and things like that. So this is the following weekend, and now I'm just kind of finishing up the pots and finish up all the rest of the work. This is now Memorial Day weekend. We only had one nice day for Memorial Day weekend, that's Saturday. So I spent the whole day Saturday doing the rest of the work that you're going to see on this video, and boy was I sore. But again, I don't regret my decision. It was nice to have a pool day because they're very rare around here. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, the cicadas are starting to pop out. I let you see a couple of them start to come out, but let me tell you what the difference a week makes. There are now thousands and thousands of them everywhere, and the sound is just so loud. So I'm gonna let you hear exactly what it sounds like outside right now. As you can hear, they are very, very, very loud, and I do not have a microphone on my camera, and I did not turn up the sound through editing. It's just at the regular 100% level when editing, and that is exactly what it sounds like outside. It is super loud. It actually even got louder throughout the week since taping this. So they are everywhere. If you're not familiar with if you live in an area where you don't have the cicadas come out, every 17 years we get these. They all emerge around this time of year from underground, and there's just shells everywhere, and they are super loud. They're flying all over the place. Every time I'm watering the flowers, they're kind of hitting me. I actually feel like they're not that bad this year as they were 17 years ago. I don't know if there's still going to be more that come out, or if I just don't have as many around our house than I did by my parents' house 17 years ago, because 17 years ago I was still living at home with my parents the last time we had them. But they are very loud. You're going to see them. Like there's one right on the you can see on the bricks right there. So they're just everywhere, and Kane loves them. He loves playing with them. He sneaks them into my car while I'm driving, so that's fun. But you know what? I try my best to not disrupt them. You know, they have lived 17 years underground. Let them come up, do what they got to do. They're all going to die off anyway. So it is kind of a cool phenomenon. I do actually like the sound. It's pretty cool. And it's amazing because I work in the city. So in the city, there are 0 cicadas. And then you come out to the suburbs. I get off the train coming back to the suburbs, and it's just amazing to hear the difference in the sound. I think it's a lot louder for me not hearing them all day and then coming home and how loud it is. This pot was given to me by my mother-in-law, or my in-laws. I mean, I say my mother-in-law because I'm sure my father-in-law had nothing to do with picking it out. It was more my mother-in-law. And it originally is like an ice bucket that you can put ice and drinks in for parties. And I left it out one winter because, again, I'm horrible at that. And there was a leak at the bottom, so you really can't use it for that. My parents fixed it for me and sealed it up, so now I can use it as a planter. And I really like using it as a planter, I think, more than like an ice bucket. It fits really nice in this little area by our hot tub, and I will use it a lot more and see it a lot more. So I'm kind of glad that it broke in some weird way, because I think it just looks a lot better. It's really pretty, and I love it. So hopefully my mother-in-law is okay when she comes over and sees the flowers in it and is thinking that's not what it's supposed to be for, but hopefully she finds it just as pretty as I do. This pot is new this year. I went to the garden center to pick out a couple more flowers and saw these really pretty yellow and red flowers and was like, I need these. So now I need to find another pot to put them in because I don't have room in any of my other pots. So I just bought this little black pot just to have on the table, just to kind of bring in some flowers over here. I made the mistake of washing off my table before planting, which probably wasn't the brightest idea because now I have dirt all over my clean table. But I love this table. It is nice, but oh my goodness, it is so hard to keep clean, and it kind of stains a little bit, so it's not perfect, but it does look nice when it's clean. It's just that you have to clean it every day. Basically, anytime it rains, you can see all the watermarks from the rain. So it's probably not the best. If this ever breaks or we need to get a new one, I'll probably not get a glass top one. But again, I do love it. It's just that it's difficult to keep clean. And I have a hard time keeping things clean as it is. So I'm not the best at that. As you can see, look at all this dirt all over my clean table. But yeah, so these flowers are really pretty. Hopefully they do well. They're, spoiler alert now, they're not doing the best. We've had a lot of rain, and I think maybe they've gotten too much rain, so I'm hoping that they'll bounce back a little bit. But it is nice having like a little bit of some flowers here on this table. There's a couple of my little friends, the cicadas, and I had my little buddy, Kane, over here, come help clear the cicadas for me from the flowers. He loves just going around the yard, and he'll find some that are in the grass. If they're upside down, he'll pick them up, save them, put them on the tree. It's very, very sweet. He cares a lot about the cicadas and wants to make sure that they're safe. So you'll see him a lot in this video. Anytime he finds a cicada, he just shows it to the camera. He loves there's another one that he found. He just kept going up to the camera. As I'm editing this, I just keep seeing him come into the camera more than I thought he did. So as you can see, he loves A, being center of attention, and B, saving the cicadas. I got this flower pot last year at a little independent small garden center in the area, and I just loved it. The colors are just so beautiful, and I'm just taking some leftover flowers from all the other pots that I didn't have room for. So it's not, I don't know, it's a little bit of everything in here, so we'll see how they grow in. I'm hoping that they grow in good because there are a couple of blank spots, just because some of my flowers did die while they were in these little containers, because I bought my flowers way ahead of time because there was a big sale, but yet the weather here wasn't really good to plant them yet. So we'll see how they do. Last year I bought a beautiful flower to go in here that was yellow, and the flower kind of died off, and I thought a new one would pop up in its place, and it never did, and I was really heartbroken. So I wanted to make sure I put lots of color in here, so we'll see how it does. Now I'm just getting all of the pots watered, and now that I'm all done with planting all the pots, making sure that they have plenty of water, because a lot of the dirt in these pots are from last year and they're pretty dry, so they needed a good watering. And it did rain a lot in the last couple of weeks here, but a lot of my pots are covered by the new roof that we have on my pergola. So even though it's been raining like crazy here, I still need to go out and water them every other day just to make sure that they're good. And now I'm just trimming up this red bud. I love this tree, however, half of it is dead. And so we know we're probably going to have to chop this down next year, which just is heartbreaking to me because the flowers on it for just a few weeks are absolutely gorgeous. So we're probably going to cut it down and then put another one maybe in the corner. I want to make a little memorial garden in the corner. More to come on that and kind of what my ideas are for that. But now we're going to kind of tackle some of these bushes. I have these same bushes in the front. If you saw my last video of planting the front, some of these have done really well, and some of them not so much. You'll see that some of them are almost completely dead. Some of them are half dead. I'm not really sure what happened to them. We do get a ton of sun in our backyard, and so I'm wondering if maybe they just got too much sun and they got fried. I'm not really sure. I'm a little heartbroken, so I might have to tear a couple of them out and put some new ones in. We'll see. As you can see in the corner there, that one, half of it towards the bottom is dead, so I trimmed them up really good. I don't know. We'll see. I hope they bounce back. Anyone have bushes like these? I think these are called boxwoods or something similar to that. Have you had this issue where some of them have been dead? Have they come back? Is there any chance? Let me know in the comments if there's any chance that these could come back. Now I'm kind of tackling this giant weed that grew in between these two. I'm sitting here, I'm digging and I'm digging and I'm digging, and then I realized I need to bring in the big girl shovel here and really dig it out. This bush to the left here is definitely the one that has the most damage. I don't know if there's any way to save this one. I'm trying to trim off some of the stuff, but I realize that I don't want to trim off all the live stuff. So that's basically all it is. It's very tiny. So I know that one probably has no hope. But again, comment below if you've had this issue and they've come back. As you may notice, I have 2 different gardening gloves on. Let me know too in the comments if you're anything like me. Please, I hope there's other people out there who constantly lose garden gloves. It's like just as bad as socks, where you never can find matching socks. I can never find matching garden gloves. Every year I buy a new set of garden gloves and then I lose one or I lose the whole set. The week before I had different gloves on. I couldn't find them. And so then I found just random ones. Luckily I was able to find a left and a right, but they don't match, and that's just how it is. So now I'm going to tackle this butterfly garden. So quick story on kind of how this became a thing here. Back in 2020, my son's birthday is during the summer, and we did a little birthday parade for him, like most people did during 2020. And his teacher, one of his old preschool teachers, was in the parade. And then we had a couple people come into the backyard that felt comfortable to, kind of hang out and spend some time with Kane. But she came into the back and she actually had somebody come to our house, kind of like a wildlife expert. And this lady came with a butterfly, with a monarch for us to release, and then gave us a monarch caterpillar. And so we actually got to, it was just before it went into its cocoon, so we got to feed it milkweed, which I had to go quickly try to find milkweed to go give it to, because that's the only thing that monarch butterflies will eat and caterpillars will eat is milkweed. And my son just loved it so much. We loved releasing it, and so we actually would go out and find eggs on leaves. There's a couple places that I know that have milkweed, and so we went to some of those places and just started collecting the eggs and raising them and going out every day to get more milkweed. So I decided to plant our own little milkweed garden here in our yard, and so we did that, and we have a lot of milkweed and it's just great. And so I turned this into just a little bit of a butterfly garden. I have two different types of milkweed. The big ones that you can see, the leaves are huge, and then I have a couple that are really small. So I'm clearing all the weeds out, and I have, you can see this right here. This is kind of the smaller milkweed plant, but they come back every year. They're really good at coming back, and now I'm just pulling random stuff out, and I don't know why there's a piece of styrofoam in there, but yeah, some stuff gets lost in there. And then I have this giant weed, and it's in between the rocks. And yes, I know I can move a rock to easily get to cut this weed out, but as you know, my fear of centipedes, and this area, I see tons of centipedes all the time because of the mulch, and I don't know why. So I was afraid to move that rock because I'm sure that there's probably like 10 centipedes under it. So just clearing everything out and getting everything set for the mulch. Now that I have all the weeds out, I've uncovered my milkweed plants. Luckily, I have two more. Next year I might need to get one more in here. We'll see. I used to have like 4 or 5 plants in here. So half of it is growing really well, half of it's not, but that's okay. We still get a lot of butterflies in here. Right now we have, as I mentioned, we had 7 eggs, and then as I was collecting milkweed to feed them, I found some with caterpillars on them, so I brought them inside. So right now, as I'm editing this, we have 10 caterpillars that are currently in their chrysalis, or cocoons as people usually call them, but they're called chrysalis. So we're just waiting for those to emerge, and then we will release them. So 10 is the most we've had at one time. Typically we will get about, maybe 10 or so the whole year, but we must have caught them right as the butterflies were laying their eggs. So far we're off to a good start this year. And now I'm just kind of getting the garden all ready. Back in November, my grandma passed away, and Blake got me this beautiful stone to put in here. It's a picture of my grandma and I. This is like my favorite picture of us. And so he got this for me for Christmas, which I absolutely love. It is really beautiful. And so I am going to add this to my butterfly garden. As I mentioned, I'm thinking of kind of making a memorial garden somewhere else in the yard where I can see. So maybe next year, the year after, we'll figure it out. But I want to do a red bud tree and then have like a little memorial garden there. So, and then here is a stone that I got. Unfortunately, we had a lot of infertility, issues, and I've had 2 miscarriages over the last couple of years. And so I bought this stone just to kind of remember, the babies that unfortunately we were never able to hold in our arms. So it's just like a really pretty little memorial area. That cactus is actually a cactus. It's in memory of my Aunt Anita, who died in 1997 of cancer. She was only 28 years old. My grandma made a memorial garden for her in her yard. She loved southwestern cactus, all that stuff. So she got that cactus for her yard. And so when my grandma passed away, I took that, and now I have it in my garden to remember my Aunt Anita. So kind of gonna probably put some stuff together for a little memorial garden. Like I said, hopefully next year that's something that we'll do, but so far I have a little one there. So now I'm going to be putting all the mulch around all of these bushes. These bushes are a lot better than the ones on the other side. And then just spreading out the mulch. It just looks so much better with fresh mulch. It really makes these bushes pop. just as I promised, here are a couple of before shots of our backyard before we put in the patio. We used to have this light blue deck that was half rotted out, so it really needed to be replaced. We ended up, instead of doing another deck, we did a patio just because we could get more space. If we would have done all of this in decking, that would have cost an arm and a leg. I mean, this was already pretty expensive, don't get me wrong, but at least we can have a bigger entertainment space with the patio. And while they were putting this in, I actually had them add that fire pit. That wasn't in the original plans. Luckily, they had enough leftover materials to add that in last minute. And then we had them put in the pergola, which is just great. I love having a roof on it though now because our yard is super sunny. So even with that pergola, we just couldn't be out here in July in the middle of the day. So excited to see how our yard transforms, being able to be out there in the middle of summer. So now everything is completed. I have our bushes trimmed, mulch is down, pots are planted, excited to come out here and enjoy the rest of my summer out here on our patio space. A couple other projects we are going to do eventually, like I mentioned, cut down that red bud, put that somewhere else in the yard because it is in a very awkward spot. And we're also thinking about getting a shed back here. So more to come on that. I don't know if that's going to be this year or next year. We will see. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you give it a like. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of my patio with all the pots and stuff like that. Any other ideas, would love to hear them as well. Always looking to spruce up this spot. So make sure you subscribe if you love home content, planting, cleaning, all of that. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you at the next one.